Hey folks, quick product update for you here today. We're going to be talking about Immuta's newly released AWS Lake Formation integration. Similar to our existing integrations, you're going to be able to use the new connections interface to very quickly traverse and understand everything that's going on within your account, within your region, within your existing data lake, right? You'll notice that I have a series of glue tables here. I can pop into any one of them and traverse that structure. You'll notice here it's part of an existing Immuta data product. There's the tag that determines which data lake it's a part of, and then as well as source tags and domain tags, right? Automatically assigning it to a particular data domain for publishing in the data storefront. You'll also notice that I'm able to make sure that any kinds of changes that occur in this glue data catalog stay up to date. Immutah is going to automatically process any of that information, suck in new tables as they arrive. I'm able to also federate out administration of this data source, right? In this case, myself and the data operations group. That table, let's take a look over here, comes to us from the glue crawler. So you'll notice here, right, it correctly identified in this particular CSV file that I had in an S3 location that we have the correct metadata here in place, and I was able to get that schema definition. Now, let's take this a step further. So AWS Lake Formation used to be just a data engineering tool, right, for provisioning different kinds of services and other sorts of products that you might need for creating your own data lake. But recently, AWS took this a step further, and now it is a security meta model as well. So I'm able to have collections of data permissions. You'll notice here in this case, I have my crawler permissions, right, across a couple different tables. You'll notice that I have a data lake admin. Here's me, right? If we go to the next page, you'll notice I've got some more permissions here, as well as here's my service principal that Immuta assumes to alter the primitives within my data lake. So Immuta is no longer just connecting into compute platforms, right? But we're also connecting into now meta models. And what this gets you is the ability to control permissions on Redshift Spectrum, S3, if you're, say, querying things through Athena, right? Let's see this in action. So if I have a particular data product coming to me from a data domain, you'll notice here I have a series of data sources, one of which is here's that customer glue table again. If we go ahead and in my right-hand browser window, request as my analyst, right? Let's go ahead and request access here for 2 hours, we'll say, for a demo 1 ticket, right? Submit that request. I'm going to get a series of email notifications or Slack notifications or Teams notifications to tell me, hey, I've got a new request to fulfill. But let's go ahead and take a look at that here as the data steward. Let's continue to the determination. Immuta's already told me I just need this for a few hours. We'll add some reason, and we go ahead and approve that. And so what Immuta is doing under the hood right now is it's issuing table grants for that Postgres and Databricks data source and Snowflake data source, but it's also updating the glue data catalog such that you have the appropriate permissions in place there. Now, this happens at a regular cadence, right? Essentially every minute. And so if we come back to my glue data catalog over here, I'm going to pause for just a minute. Right now we're sitting at 72 data permissions, and you can configure this cron job essentially. Right now it's set for about a minute here, so I don't exceed too many quotas, but I'm going to pause and let this refresh. All right, so I'm going to refresh this again, and we're going to go ahead and see now we've gone from 72 to 73. And so if I go in and find the particular permission, right, we can see now that Bob, my data analyst, has access to the appropriate table, right, in my data lake. So just a quick demo to show you how Immuta's lake formation integration will allow data owners, data stewards, to be able to provision the correct access more efficiently. Thanks so much for watching.